The Galactic Council was old, older than most member species remembered, and it had been founded on a single belief that no intelligent civilization stayed silent forever. Across thousands of star systems, every spacefaring species eventually sent a greeting, a signal, a declaration of presence, some whisper into the cosmic dark that said we are here. The Council catalogued them all: first contacts, cultural protocols, threat assessments, and diplomatic rankings. Silence was expected only from primitives or the dead. Then there was the gap. At the edge of mapped space lay a region strangely untouched, a stretch of stars rich in resources, stable suns, habitable worlds, and yet entirely absent from interstellar traffic. Long-range probes detected industrial waste, orbital structures, energy signatures that could only belong to advanced technology. Someone was there, but no transmissions were ever recorded, no greetings sent, no warnings issued. The Council assumed caution at first. Perhaps the civilization was young, perhaps fearful, perhaps bound by cultural taboo. Envoys were prepared, language matrices refined, peaceful overtures crafted with the utmost care. Exploration vessels crossed the boundary, broadcasting universal mathematical greetings and open signals of peace. Nothing answered. The ships vanished, not destroyed, not attacked, simply gone. No debris fields, no energy spikes, no final distress calls. As if they had stepped out of reality. Concern grew into unease, unease into fear. The Council sent more probes, stealthier this time, observing from afar. They saw cities that covered continents, machines that reshaped planets, star-lifting arrays that drank from suns. This was no hidden backwater civilization. This was power on a scale rivaling the oldest empires. Yet still silence. No borders were marked, no warnings posted, no hostile gestures made. The civilization expanded methodically, efficiently, always avoiding contact. Their ships rerouted around foreign systems with impossible precision, never colliding, never acknowledging others existed at all. The Council argued endlessly. Some claimed the silence was arrogance, others said it was preparation for war. A few suggested something far worse, that this civilization did not recognize others as entities worthy of notice. The phrase began circulating in closed sessions. A civilization that never introduced itself. And somewhere deep within that silent expanse, humanity continued working, unaware that the galaxy was watching them with growing dread. Humanity had reached the stars quietly, not out of fear, but out of habit. On Earth, survival had always favored those who observed before speaking, who learned before declaring intent. First contact protocols were debated for centuries, but no consensus ever held. Too many unknowns, too many historical lessons about misunderstanding and escalation. So humanity chose a different path. They would listen first, for as long as it took. Human probes slipped beyond the solar system, passive and nearly invisible, harvesting data without broadcasting a single identifying signal. Alien transmissions were catalogued, languages decoded, political structures mapped, conflicts analyzed. Humanity learned the galaxy's rules before ever stepping onto its stage. They discovered something troubling. Every civilization that announced itself became part of a hierarchy. Stronger empires absorbed weaker ones through diplomacy or force. Neutral species paid tribute, traded autonomy for protection, or vanished entirely. Humanity did not want a seat at that table. They wanted the table gone. Instead of alliances, they built redundancy. Instead of treaties, they built deterrence. Every colony was self-sufficient, every ship capable of independent operation. Their networks were decentralized, their command structures fluid, designed to survive decapitation strikes that never came. They watched wars unfold light years away, and quietly adjusted their technology. Energy weapons were improved, then shelved, replaced by subtler systems. Armor evolved not just to resist damage, but to deny detection entirely. If they were ever seen, it would be because they chose to be. The Council's envoys that vanished were not destroyed. They were captured, contained, studied. Humans analyzed physiology, psychology, communication patterns, and then released the ships back into empty space, memories altered just enough to create confusion instead of certainty. Humanity believed anonymity was safety. If no one knew who they were, no one could prepare against them. And if no one prepared against them, war might never come. But expansion continued because it had to. Resources were needed, population grew, curiosity burned. Silent construction fleets moved like ghosts, harvesting unclaimed systems, building megastructures beyond the reach of foreign sensors. The galaxy saw growth without explanation, power without identity. And fear began to spread faster than light ever could. Eventually, the Council reached consensus through desperation. Silence itself was declared a threat. A coalition fleet, unlike any before it was assembled, carrying weapons designed to shatter stars and crack worlds. They would force an answer, one way or another. The fleet entered the silent region broadcasting ultimatums in every known language. Declare yourselves, submit to observation, or be treated as hostile. For the first time in recorded history, the galaxy spoke to the void and demanded a reply. They received one. It was not a greeting. It was not a warning. It was not even addressed to them. Every ship in the fleet received the same data packet simultaneously, bypassing shields, encryption, and physical distance as if none of it existed. The message contained recordings, centuries of intercepted council debates, military simulations, classified war plans, secrets thought buried forever. Then came the voice, calm, human, unmistakably deliberate. You are not the first to fear our silence. You are not the first to mistake it for weakness. And you will not be the first to learn why we chose it. Around the fleet, space bent. Human vessels emerged, not from hyperspace, but from dimensions the Council had not known existed. They did not form battle lines, did not lock weapons, did not threaten. They simply were everywhere. The coalition fleet realized they had been surrounded long before they arrived. Human ships mirrored every movement, countered every formation without firing a single shot. Weapon systems failed not explosively, but politely, powering down as if deciding on their own that violence was unnecessary. The voice returned. We watched you for a long time. We learned your fears, your ambitions, your cycles of dominance and collapse. We chose not to introduce ourselves because introductions create expectations, and expectations create conflict. You feared what you could not name. That fear kept you from attacking us for centuries. Silence protected us better than any fleet ever could. The coalition fleet was allowed to leave unharmed, unchanged, except for one thing. They now knew. After the encounter, the Council reeled. Records were rewritten, doctrines abandoned, assumptions shattered. The galaxy had discovered a civilization that had mastered power without display, dominance without declaration. And worst of all, restraint without oversight. Humanity finally spoke again, but only once. A single transmission, sent on every frequency to every listening species. We are human. We are not your rulers. We are not your enemies. We are your reminder. The reminder was simple. Not all strength announces itself. Not all civilizations seek approval. And not all silence is ignorance or fear. Human borders were never drawn, but everyone knew where they were. Conflicts near human space quietly de-escalated. Pirate fleets vanished when routes crossed unseen patrols. Wars ended when supply lines failed for reasons no one could prove. Humanity never joined the council, never asked for recognition, never demanded tribute. They continued to expand, to observe, to prepare. Always watching, always listening, always choosing when not to speak. The galaxy learned a new kind of diplomacy, one based not on treaties, but on mutual caution, not on power displayed, but on power implied. And so the story spread among the stars, told in hushed transmissions and classified briefings, of the civilization that changed everything without ever introducing itself, of the species that taught the galaxy the most terrifying lesson of all. Sometimes the most dangerous voice is the one that waits,